Om. 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 गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। So this is verse 23 from chapter 7, 17. तेषां ज्ञानी नित्ययुक्तः एकभक्तिर्विशिष्यते प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनोत्यर्थम् अहं स च मम प्रियः. From part 3, verse 23. Among them, the Jnani, ever integrated, excels with his unshakable devotion. I am very dear to the Jnani and he is very dear to me. In the previous verse, that is 16th verse of chapter 7, Bhagwan mentions about 4 types of bhaktas. Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritinurjuna arto jignasurartharthi gnani cha bharatarshabha. Bhagavan mentioned about 4 types of bhaktas, namely Artha, Jignashu, Artharthi and Jnani. The Artha prays to Bhagavan seeking security whenever frightened or whenever in difficulties or distress. The Jignashu, Gnatum Ichuhu, desirous of knowing, prays to Bhagavan, trying to know who Bhagavan is, where he is, how he is, etc. The Artharthi prays to Bhagavan seeking food, clothing, shelter, wealth, power, fame, and a whole lot of physical comforts. Whereas the Jnani always prays to Bhagavan, knowing who he is, how he is, where all he is, what all he is, how loving he is, how he is he, and the like. The Jnani is ever rooted in the living essence of the Mahavakyas. Ayam Atma Brahma, that is from the Mandukya Upanishad. Prajnanam Brahma, that is from the Aitareya Upanishad. Tat Tvam Asi, that is from the Chandogya Upanishad. Aham Brahmasmi, from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. And several such like other mantras of the Shastra. The Jnani, without any craving, devoid of the tendency to seek or beg, always revels in the truth. The Gnani, without any craving, devoid of the tendency to seek or beg, always revels in the truth of the Upanishad Vakyas. The Gnani praying to Bhagavan is just natural to him, like breathing, and the prayer does not waver, neither does it ask for any favor, nor does it ever stop. Whatever the Gnani may be doing, the underlying influence is the sublime thought of Bhagavan. Further, the Gnani's bhakti and prayer does not go jumping from one deity to another. Thus, our experience from the pages of history is that all Mahatmas just simply stuck to one deity throughout their life and were benefited. That is the import of the first line of the verse. The second line of the verse equates, as it were, such a person to a gnani who loves Bhagwan like he loves himself. That is why Bhagwan is very dear to him and he also is very dear to Bhagwan. In the succeeding verse, Bhagwan mentioned thus, Gnani tu Atma eva me matam. Whereas my opinion is that Gnani is indeed I, Bhagavan Ramana, who lived this verse naturally liked it. Chapter 7, verse 19, that is the verse.
बहूनां जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेवः सर्वमिति समहात्मा सुदुर्लभः.
At the end of many births, the Gnani takes refuge in me. That Mahatma who realizes that all this is Vasudeva is very rare. The Garbhopanishad says that the Jiva, when in the womb, suffering the pangs of prenatal arrest, vows that once released from the mother's womb, he will devote his entire life to the feet of the Almighty, ever pray to him devotedly, free himself from all attachments, and always soak his mind with the thoughts of the Lord. But at the time of delivery from the womb into this world, he is covered by Maya, and then onwards, a new life of ignorance starts. This is because, despite his vows which he made, unable to suffer the pangs of arrest when in the womb, his mind has not evolved yet to entertain the thoughts of the higher, and the mind is still very dirty. However, birth after birth, he would make incremental progress towards realization of the truth of life. And at the end, finally, of many trying births, he evolves himself as a Gnani and takes complete refuge in Bhagavan. Which Bhagavan? Vasudeva Sarvamidam iti bhavena, with the thought that all this is indeed Vasudeva. And who is Vasudeva? Vyasa Bhagavan beautifully defines Vasudeva in his Vishnu Sahasranamam. Thus, Vasudeva.
वासुदेवस्य वासितं भुवनत्रयं सर्वभूतनिवासोऽसि वासुदेव नमोऽस्तु ते.
The fragrance of Vasudeva clothes the three worlds. The indweller of all beings, Vasudeva, salutations to you. That kind of a person, a gnani, is indeed difficult to find, is rare. In the earlier verse, see chapter 7, verse 18. उदारा सर्व एवैते ज्ञानी त्वात्मैव मे मतम् आस्थितः स हि युक्तात्मा मामेवानुत्तमां गतिम्. So that kind of a person, a gnani, is indeed difficult to find, is rare. In the earlier verse, Bhagwan has already qualified the Jnani as Jnani tu Atma eva me matam, whereas my opinion is that Jnani is indeed Atma, I. The import of this verse is that we must strive at all times to unravel the mystery of life, ever inquire into the purpose of our birth, and fruitfully spend our time in the thought and service of the Lord, and in the process cleanse the mind effectively to shorten the Bahunam Janmas to a few Janmas and thereafter merge with the Lord. This merger is more like the wave, realizing that it is indeed the oceanic water and thus becoming the ocean. The cleaner the mind, the faster the self realization. Bhagwan Ramana proved this maxim and thus liked it. Then verse 25.
अव्यक्तोऽक्षर इत्युक्तः तमाहुः परमां गतिं यं प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम.
That is said to be unmanifest, indeclinable, and the supreme end, having gained which there is no return. That is my supreme abode. Unmanifest because it is not available for perception by the senses and the mind intellect equipment. These implements are all products of avidya, ignorance. That which is an effect of avidya cannot cognize the very vidya principle, the knowledge principle, which is Bhagavan. Akshara, indeclinable, like even the space. That which does not undergo any change, does not grow or diminish, is not subject to be influenced by anything whatsoever, is Akshara, indeclinable. That is the origin. That is Sat, for which Abhava na vidyate, no non-being. That is the beginning, the middle, and the end of all that our mind can perceive, the intellect can cognize. That was before anything began and will last the last dissolution. That unmanifest an indeclinable state when one gains, that person is said to have merged with the supreme truth. And that is the Param Dhama, the final abode anyone can aspire, having gone where there is no further coming and going, and hence yam prapya na nivartante, after gaining which does not return. Return where? To the samsara. There is no janma, no mrityu, no boy, no girl, no world, no attachment, no delusion, no avidya. It is all ananda, the supreme bliss. Is it any wonder that this verse was the favorite of Bhagavan Ramana? Chapter 9, verse 22.
अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जनाः पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम्.
Whoever prays to me serves me with no other thought. Those whoever revel in the identity with me, I shall secure their yogam and kshemam. Apraptasya prapanam yogam. Obtaining that which one does not have is yogam. Praptasya rakshanam kshemam. Protection of that which is obtained is kshemam. Bhagwan's promise is that he will secure or take care of both yogam and kshemam. It is a promise with a superlative condition. Tesham, those who with singular devotion to me, who do not think of anything other than me, who always pray to me and serve me, that is the condition. Ananya Chinta means no other thought or worry. Ananya Chinta, in contrast, will be who will take care of me if I keep on always praying to Bhagwan? Who will take care of my dear wife and children? What happens to my family when I perish in the process? How about the education of my children? Who will organize their well being and security? And how about their marriages? Who will organize the property division to the members of my family? And such like thoughts. Our effort must be to have lasting Shraddha in Bhagwan's promise, unflinching devotion to Him, and a commitment to constantly pray to Him and serve Him. Then we need not worry about Yogam Kshemam, both of which are really the burden of Bhagwan. Are we not free persons then? That is the state to which Bhagwan is driving us for our benefit. Was this not a demonstrated feature of Bhagwan Ramana's life? And would he not love such a verse? Chapter 10, verse 10.
तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते तेषामेवानुकम्पार्थम् अहमज्ञानजं तमः नाशयाम्यात्मभावस्तु ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता.
To the steadfast devotees who always pray to me with love, I shall bestow jnanam to enable them attain me. Out of compassion for them, I shall shine the light of knowledge in their minds to destroy the darkness born out of ignorance. Jnanam, knowledge, is necessary to annihilate avidya or ignorance, which has been bothering us, nay, binding us from bahunam janmas, many births. This jnanam must be resplendent, like even the effulgent sun, who banishes the darkness totally to destroy the false notions that we inherited for ages, the doubts that we are so fond of entertaining, the false identifications that we have been cherishing all along, the silly sentiments that we so lovingly care and carry. In short, the jnanam must be unalloyed. Then only avidya, the cause of our miserable existence, takes to flight. Bhagwan, through these two verses, has undertaken to accomplish for our sake two things. One, he will bestow jnanam to us and enables us attain them. Secondly, he will ensure that this jnanam takes place in us properly by exposing our minds to the brilliance of the light of jnanam. What a concern and what compassion! All this he has promised for our hitam benefit. However, this jnanam is not free. It shall be, as it were, bought from Bhagwan with supreme devotion, prayer, and love to him. The Jagat Guru Bhagavan knows what we lack and what we want. He is prepared to give all that to us. He wants to ensure that he will not bestow this treasure on undeserving persons. That is why the conditions laid down, which are susukham kartum, very easy to do, provided we have the burning desire for freedom. Mumukshutvam. commitment for it, and a will to put in persistent effort towards the desired objective. Such a Mahatma was Bhagavan Ramana, on whom Bhagavan's Kripa flowed in abundance, and who naturally liked the above couplet of verses. Verse 29. Aham Atma Gudakesha
सर्वभूताशयस्थितः अहमादिश्च मध्यं च भूतानामन्त एव च.
O Gudakesha, I am Atma and reside in all beings. I am the very beginning, middle, and end of all beings. Arjuna was addressed enhancing his self image as Gudakesha, which means one who has a degree of mastery over the sense organs. This also means one who has a mastery over sleep. This verse is in response to Arjuna's query as to in what all he could see Bhagwan and what all are his glories. In one short, Bhagavan said that he is everywhere and that he is not only Atma but obtains in everything and in every being as Atma. That means what all we see is Atma. What all we see is Bhagavan. There is no other. We are devoted to Bhagavan. Then why do we have likes and dislikes in respect of persons that we come across? Are they not Bhagavans? Then where is the division vibhakti? When we pray to him, it is with bhakti, devotion, or at least required to be with bhakti. How then has this vibhakti caught hold of us? That is because we take what is said in the Gita as a bit of information and not an injunction for our good. Readers of the Gita, even after understanding this verse, if they constantly practice vibhakti, then they might as well give up the Gita for good and read some miserable newspaper which gives a lot more information. In order to inculcate the requisite Shraddha and Bhakti in us, there are some beautiful invocatory verses to the Gita, one of which reads thus: Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande paramananda madhavam. I salute the embodiment of happiness, Madhava, whose krupa makes the dumb eloquent and the lame cross a mountain. Bhagwan further said that he is the Jagat Karanam, Aham Adishya Madhyam cha Bhutanam Anta Evacha, that he is the sustainer and also the Laya Karaka, the cause of dissolution. When Bhagavan is saying that he is the very beginning, middle, and end of every being, then where is the difference in the beings? Why do all of us see this vibhakti? Where is the need for hatred, malice, jealousy, anger? Why is the attachment only to some? Why not get attached to all and enjoy the happiness born out of that equanimity? Why not live happily thereafter? The reason is that we are not yet qualified for that task. The need is Shraddha, together with a pure mind and a discerning intellect. We must take refuge at the level of Jivan Muktas like Bhagavan Ramana, to whom the verse 29, chapter 10, 20 was very dear.
Please read it again.
Yeah. Bhagwan, the shloka says, Ahamatma gudakesha sarvabhutashayasthitah ahamadishya madhyam cha bhutanamanta eva cha. Bhagwan further said that he is the Jagat Karanam, Aham Adishya Madhyam cha Bhutanam Anta eva cha, that he is the sustainer and also the Laya Karaka, the cause of dissolution. When Bhagwan is saying that he is the very beginning, middle, and end of every being, then where is the difference in the beings? Why do all of us see this vibhakti? Where is the need for hatred, malice, jealousy, anger? Why is the attachment only to some? Why not get attached to all and enjoy the happiness born out of that equanimity? Why not live happily thereafter? The reason is that we are not yet qualified for that task. The need is Shraddha, together with a pure mind and a discerning intellect. We must take refuge at the feet of Jivan Muktas like Bhagwan Ramana, to whom the verse 29, chapter 10-20 was very dear.
भक्त्या त्वनन्यया शक्या अहमेवं विदोऽर्जुन ज्ञातुं द्रष्टुं च तत्त्वेन प्रवेष्टुं च परन्तप.
Arjuna, with unflinching devotion, it is possible to know me, thus see and in essence enter. I repeat, Arjuna, with unflinching devotion, it is possible to know me, thus see and in essence enter. This verse talks of both bhakti and jnana, thus perhaps indicating that the difference between unadulterated bhakti and jnanam is either only apparent or very little. Bhagwan said thus in the first line of the verse, it is possible through ananya, meaning ananya avyabhicharin. No other non-wavering bhakti I can be thus. I repeat, in the first line of the verse, it is possible through ananya, meaning avyabhicharini, no other non-wavering bhakti I can be thus. In the second line of the verse, known, seen, and really entered into. O Parantapa, Paran, Paran Shatrun Tapayati, the scorcher of foes. Arjuna is Parantapa because Paran Shatrun Tapayati, the scorcher of foes. I can be thus known means that the Virat Swarupam of Bhagwan, till then shown to Arjuna upon his request. That form has clearly shown that Bhagwan is Sarvagataha, everywhere. Bhagwan is Sarvagataha, I believe, right? Gataha, Sarvagataha, everywhere. Sarva Antaryami, the indweller of everyone, and Sarva Shaktiman, all powerful. Virata Swarupam has shown to Arjuna the entire universe with all that would happen in the universe, like Sarga, creation, Sthiti, sustenance, and Layam, dissolution. Bhagavan had also shown to Arjuna what would happen in the war. All the principal warriors of both the armies were struggling in between the teeth of Bhagavan. So many worlds were shown together with all their inhabitants, like the Devas, Siddhas, Sadhyas, Rakshasas, Kinnaras, etc. But Arjuna did not see himself in the Virat. Thus, there was a division in Arjuna's mind, himself, and what he saw in Bhagavan. Dvaitat bhayam bhavati. In the presence of vibhakti, division, fear happens. And Arjuna was frightened. The Taittiriya Upanishad says, Udaramantaram kurute ada tasya bhayam bhavati. Udaram anantaram kurute adha.
Udaramantaram kurute ath tasya bhayam bhavati.
Adha tasya bhayam.
Udaramantaram kurute. Antaram is that difference,
Distance,
that
yeah.
distance and division, right?
Yeah. Udaram. Meaning, whoever sees even the slightest difference in what is perceived. What all we see is indeed Atma, then that person is smitten by fear. The same Upanishad proclaims that whenever an aspirant gets established in this unperceivable, bodiless, inexpressible Brahman, then that person becomes fearless. Atha tasya bhayam gato bhavati. But Arjuna was overtaken with fear owing to lack of appreciation of Atma. It is clear thus that Arjuna and all of us required this all-inclusive jnanam, and that is why Bhagavan mentioned it along with bhakti. This is yet another verse liked by Bhagavan Ramana, for whom Bhayam was a stranger. Chapter 12, verse 15.
यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैः मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः.
By whoever people do not get agitated, whoever is not agitated by people, whoever is free from elation, impatience, fear, and excitement, such a person is dear to me. Starting from the 13th verse of this chapter till almost the end, 19th verse, Bhagwan spelt out the lakshanas, characteristics of the bhakta who is dear to him. In this verse, a quiescent bhakta is presented. The lakshanas are those of a jnani. If we want to be in the august company of the dear ones to Bhagwan, we must strive to leave this verse. Do not trouble the world and do not get troubled by the world. Get rid of the propensity for elation, impatience, fear, and excitement. It seems easy to appreciate what is said, but how about an effort to live thus? To acquire those qualities, a lot of effort, discipline, and perseverance are needed. Endowed with these an unshakable commitment and devotion to the Lord, it is indeed possible to render oneself dear to Bhagavan. That is how Bhagavan Ramana conducted himself in his mortal coil to become dear to Bhagavan, and the verse became dear to him. Thus ends the message of part 3. Thus ends the second Shatka, 6 chapters of the Gita.
We meant, Balaji, can you read the last two slokas one more time?
Yeah.
The one that, yes, Mano, and then the Bhaktayat one, verse 30 and 31, please.
भक्त्या त्वनन्यया शक्या अहमेवं विधोऽर्जुना ज्ञातुं द्रष्टुं च तत्त्वेन प्रवेष्टुं च परन्तप. यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैः मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः.
The meaning says, Brahmanaji, should we stop here or we should go ahead with part 4? Kindly guide us.
I think we'll all take a call. We'll do the Manana for part 3, and then we can go to part 4.
So shall we repeat the shlokas of part 3, then all shlokas?
1 minute. Dr.
Or
Mara wanted only the verses to be repeated or the meaning as well?
yeah, I will just
Yeah,
read
I
the meaning.
want the meaning also, please.
Yeah, sure.
So maybe what you can do, just repeat those last two verses, and then we'll go through the
Rest of the verses.
rest of the verses of part 3.
Okay. Arjuna, with unflinching devotion, it is possible to know me, the see, and in essence, enter. By whoever people do not get agitated, whoever is not agitated by people, whoever is free from elation, impatience, fear, and excitement, such a person is dear to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to do this? Right.
Shall I try to chant or I can
Yeah.
chant?
You can chant, Bela. If you have any difficulty, I'll step in. Okay?
Okay. तेषां ज्ञानी नित्ययुक्तः एकभक्तिर्विशिष्यते प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनोत्यर्थम् अहं स च मम प्रियः. Among them, the Jnani, ever integrated, excels with his unshakable devotion. I am very dear to the Jnani, and he is very dear to me. Bahunam janmam namante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudev.
Sorry, Jai Gurudev Bela. I think
Yeah.
we'll discuss verse by verse and then go forward, no?
Oh, okay, fine. That is very nice. Yeah.
So we can all share our understanding of this verse. Here, Bhagwan talks of the 4 different types of devotees: Artha, Jignasu, Ardharthi, and Jnani. So the Artha is the one who prays only for security, for whenever when he's in difficulty or he requires help. That is when he prays to Bhagwan. Whereas a Jignasu is one who prays to him in order to know. Artharthi is one who wants more possessions, who wants worldly wealth. He is the Artharthi. Whereas a Jnani is one who is, in fact, likened to him. There's no difference between a Jnani and Bhagavan. That is why he is dear to him. It is not in the sense that the Jnani is different from Bhagavan. Both are the same. So therefore, Bhagavan says he is dear to me.
Yeah,
Because the
he's
Jnani
complete.
sees no difference. Yeah. Jnani sees no difference between, he has completely recognized that the world is just an illusion and he is none other than Atma. Go ahead, Belaji, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, he is always feeling complete, and uh, the Samipya of Bhagavan, Sayujya of Bhagavan is always there for him, because he's living example of these Mahavakyas. So he doesn't have any craving. He's devoid of all the cravings and that incomplete bhava, what the rest of the people have for either for material gains or for
Knowledge.
yeah. And that is
He is
why
one who does not have any vibhakti.
hmm,
He has only that eka bhakti.
and that Eka Bhakti is avyabhicharini, because that also is so very clearly mentioned. I mean, it will come in the next verse, I believe.
Anyone wants to add on to this? Want to share? Otherwise, we'll go to the next verse.
Jnani tu atma eva me matam. Please remember this beautiful line. Jnani tu atma eva me matam. Okay, if no one wants to share, anyone wants to add? Okay. So the next verse read, Bahunam janmanamante Jnanavan mam prapadyate Vasudeva sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. At the end of many births, the Jnani takes refuge in me. That Mahatma who realizes that all this is Vasudeva is very rare.
The beauty of this beautiful term, Vasudeva, is Vasanat Vasudevasya. The fragrance is all permeating, is all pervading. So the Jnani is one who realizes this, that there is only one, and that is the all-pervading Vyapakatvat Vishnu, the one that is pervading in and through the Jagat. And Bahunam Janmanamante. So after many, many births. So we should all consider it such a blessing that at least we are hooked on to this. But having come to this path, to intensify and to be steadfast, not with that sense of feverishness, but with a sense of determination and discipline. It is like your discipline and commitment is like building up those banks across a river which is running wild. If not for this discipline and commitment, you cannot channelize the flow of the river. So all our energies, all our efforts have to be channelized towards this. Praying, thinking about this. And like in yesterday we said, we learned wherever your mind is going, yatra yatra manoyati tatra tatra samadhayaha. Wherever your mind goes, there take the thought of the Atma. So see that in everything. I think slowly and surely, that shanaihi ruparamet buddhya dhriti grihitaya atma samstham manah kritva na kinchidapi chintayet. So gradually and gradually, slowly, the police intellect has to take care of the thief mind and slowly befriend the mind and bring it so that we revel in the thought of the Atma, and then slowly we'll be able to see that samatvam in everything. Wherever we see that Atma Tattva. So that would become the practice. And then when you are in that state, there is no other. When there is no other, there is no fear. And when there is no fear, you just experience that Advaita.
Yeah. Yeah, I missed the first part of this sloka when you're reading, so I couldn't really come up with the answer. But I do like to share something, um, what I experienced today. And last night I was reading, as usual, like try to read one chapter of Gita slokas, and then this is one book that I have. It had some other, they give concisely some information on, like, I think the fourth chapter when I was reading that, it said, this avatars is part of this Brahman, who's, he comes in the human form. When you're in the human form, uh, you feel like, we are limited, and humans are limited. But then, even though Brahman takes the human form, he is not limited. He still has this infinitude and the perfection and all that. So, like I think you read in the previous verse where the Jnani prays to one, of course, devotion to Brahman. But then, as a human being, I always had this question. We always give different names, um, and even then, you try to focus like what we read in the past. What it said is, it's Brahman is in the form, in all these forms, and so even if you pray, I mean, I think we read that in Gita also, it all goes to him only. So in that sense, I feel okay, we are not doing anything wrong saying different names in our prayer or doing japa in different names and all that. The one thing, and today, I was going for a walk, and in the morning, as I said, instead of putting like music on, I said, okay, let me listen to Tirupavai. One of this Tamil is Andal, goddess Andal, who narrated the song about Krishna, Bhagavan, Krishna, or you can say, this one of, yeah. That. So I was listening to that, and as I was walking, when you're looking at all the things, imagine, I wasn't saying imagining, but I was looking at it from the floor to the top to see, I was thinking about Vishwarupa. I think as we was listening to the song, something came up in that. And so going on, looking at everything, you see, that we call it Atma or Brahman. And then it's always, I was saying, why we are objectifying all the time, we are objectifying. And then it seemed like at the end, as I was coming home, like nice, beautiful. Now the spring starts here, and the daffodils so beautiful and like yellow. And I was just standing there and looking at it. Oh, look at this. I mean, even in this, Brahman is there, and also the weed has yellow little flowers, and then it start drizzling, and then oh, the rain is also there. So like that, I was thinking, and then I could picture everything inside you as well as and outside also. Like, I mean, just at least at that moment I felt like that. It was nice. And then when I went to the gym, I was doing this weights, and I say, okay, this also like is Brahman is there. I mean, that thought kept coming and coming. When you start with that, like here it says the devotion. I mean, I think the last whatever 10 slokas that we read, it talks about devotion. So I think somehow that we instill that devotion towards that one Brahman, and that's what we will get there, I think. That's what I like to say. And I also trying to think about mind yesterday, how this mind functioning, being trying to be looking logically, thinking about it, how the senses take the message to the mind, which is the conscious mind, like that objective mind they call. And then when it's a deep mind, is a subconscious mind where this, I hope I'm thinking that this our Atma is. So the Atma is the one makes it happen, everything looks like. So it's kind of really little bit awareness today for me. Thank you.
So wonderful. Yeah, this yatra mano yati tatra tatra samadayah was kind of exemplified by what you shared just now.
Yeah, like
It
that's
is
why I said,
because
like
this
whatever we are reading, you just said, I felt like it's all kind of applied. I thought in the morning
right.
only I said I'm going to share this today in the class, and I was
Very
thinking of.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Right. So when this becomes the practice on a daily, on a moment to moment basis, then there is that is the sadhana. No? Nice, very nice. Thank you for sharing.
That's why I also, I'm sure you're all doing in different ways, but it is sometimes I try to go to the gym and you're in a closed area, but then when you go out and you really be one with the nature, and at least spending like little time, it really kind of helps. And then that uh, like you say, the meditation or this listening to the music, especially like you do the prayer or something, that even makes it uh, to go higher, like that's what I felt today.
Hari Om. With reference to what Dr. Mara said about that, like in everything there is Brahma. So I also, like, I was revisiting that Nirvan Shatkam. So I was listening to the fifth episode. So it was like in that also Swamiji said that everything is Chidananda, like all known, unknown, and like when it is all put together with all the possibilities, all that is all that is Chidananda. All, like the mouse is also Chidananda. the things you do not know is also Chidananda. So anything which is manifesting in this entire Jagat is Chidananda. And the all-knowing is, of course, the Shiva, but that is the all-knowledge. And small knowledge is that individual that like us. So, but we are all Chidananda. So I just memorized that when Dr. Mara was saying. Yeah, thank you.
Shall we go to the next verse? Bela, let me know if you're able to continue to share.
If you can take over, it will be very nice, Brahmaraji.
No problem. I'll take over. No issues. Just project the next verse and then you can. This
Yeah,
one is
here.
finish this.
Vasanad Vasudevasya. Okay. Yeah.
अव्यक्तोऽक्षर इत्युक्तः तमाहुः परमां गतिं यं प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. That is said to be unmanifest, indeclinable, and the supreme end, having gained which there is no return. That is my supreme abode. Yeah, we can share our understanding of this.
Having gained which? Gain means what? Anyway, with ignorance or without ignorance, we are that only, no? Not understanding how to gain that.
Yeah, here it is. See, the gain is we need to understand is that we are not gaining anything, nothing new. What we are doing is just removing that veil of ajnana. That's it. And when that happens, then see, that is what is mentioned here. Unmanifest because it is not available for perception by the senses and the mind intellect equipment. These are all born out of avidya, right? So that which is an effect of avidya cannot cognize the very vidya principle. So that unmanifest and indeclinable state when one gains, that person is said to have merged with the supreme truth. So this gaining is actually, we earlier also it was described that we are not gaining anything. It is nothing new. It is like that Rajju Sarpa Bhranti. Once the delusion that the snake is, the rope is the snake, is gone, when that light is shone, and then you realize that it is only the rope. So it is not, you're not gaining any new knowledge. It is, the rope is always there. What was destroyed was just the delusion. That moha, that avidya was deluded. That was destroyed. So once
Right, right.
then yam prapya nanivartante, after gaining which does not return. Return where? To the samsara. So there is no more janma, no mrityu. It is all ananda.
Here that Sarvatma Bhav will help, no? Sarvatma.
Of course, that is the penultimate bhava, which, you know, I think mentioning that the penultimate state to be is in the sarvatma bhava, that feeling belong to everyone, that everybody, I am in everyone, everyone is in me.
Then that moha and hatred and all that,
Will dissolve.
everything falls down. Yeah.
Fear, mainly fear will just dissolve.
Right, right.
And like Swami Dayananda mentioned, that special person, see, when something it hurts you, your body, then you feel, oh, my body is getting hurt. So that limitation we draw, where do we draw the distinction between atma and anatma? So there are so many people out there, but this body is my body. There's so many bodies there, but this body is my body. So that when you can expand and feel one with everyone, then there is no difference between the Atma and Anatma, so to say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very beautiful. I just suddenly this thing came into my mind. It's very long back, maybe 22 years back, 22, 23 years back. Like we own the house, no? So this is my house, like this is my body. Similarly, this is my house. But when I was going for my teacher's training, I don't know, suddenly I visited all my neighborhoods also before going, and took all the blessings of the elders, and I went to their altars. इनके घर में जाके उनके altars में जाके I just prayed that I am going to become this instrument to spread the knowledge. Just bless me. I don't know, surrounding temples also were visited and neighborhoods also. So see, unknowingly, this Sarvatma Bhav kind of uh, is inculcated due to the Guru's presence in our life. This thing suddenly came into my mind, so I just shared it. Shared with it.
Thank you. Ananyas-chintayanto mam e janah paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Whoever prays to me, serves me with no other thought, those who ever revel in the identity with me, I shall secure their yogam and kshemam. The definition of yoga was apraptasya prapana, that which is not gaining that which is not. Obtaining that which one does not have is yoga. That is apraptasya prapanam yoga. And praptasya rakshanam kshemam. Protection of that which is obtained is kshema. So in one stroke, he's taking off the doership. If we surrender to him, and he is the one who's taking care of our yoga and kshema, and that is the guarantee he's giving us. We think we have to take care of this, this, and this, but of course we will have to do, but with what attitude? Is that he is the ultimate one taking care of our yoga and kshema. Ananya chinta means no other thought or worry. Anya chinta will be in contrast is who will take care of me if I keep on always praying to Bhagavan? Who will take care of my dear wife and children? What happens to my family when I perish? So this is Anya chinta. Ananya chinta is that Bhagavan is the sole protector, sole giver, and he will protect. And the way forward is to have this lasting Shraddha in Bhagavan's promise. But how much are we able to actually live this shloka? Because that will be a reflection of the depth of our Shraddha.
Jai Gurdev, can you please explain Anya and Ananya? Didn't
Ananya
get that.
is, Ananya Chinta is there is no other thought except of Bhagavan. That is one. That he is the one who is Yoga Kshemam Vahamyam. That is what he says, right? So whoever prays to me serves me with no other thought. Those who ever revel in the identity with me, I shall secure their yogam and kshema. So that yatra yatra manoyati. So wherever your mind is going, you take the thought of Atma, the thought of Bhagwan, and you have the Shraddha that the best will happen to you. He is the one taking care. So that total surrender is there. Whereas that is the Ananya Chinta. Whereas Anya Chinta is, who will take care of this? Who will take care of my children? Who will take care of? That becomes Anya Chinta.
And sorry, I'm asking you again. Yogam, you explained. Can you please?
Yogam is apraptasya prapanam yogam. That is obtaining that which does not have, which one does not have is yogam. Like as an example, a person does not have money, so he strives to gain money and he gets money. That becomes yoga. He does not have money and he gets money. And praptasya rakshanam kshemam. After having gained that, after having acquired that, protecting that becomes kshemam. That yoga kshemam vahamyaham. So Bhagwan says, all you have to do is just think and be with me without that vibhakti, with that avyabhicharini bhakti. When that is there, I will take care of your yoga and kshema. He gives that complete assurance.
Thank you.
Whereas for us, what we do is that doership comes in and say, oh, I have to do it. I have to take care. It's like that Govardhan Parvat. Krishna was the one lifting it all up with his little finger.
all the other gopis and gopas came, and then they also put up their staffs, right? So whether they put up their staff or not, that is only symbolic. He was anyway lifting it up. Similarly, whatever we do as part of our karma yoga is just symbolic of that. He is the ultimate giver and protector of our yoga and kshema. I mean, we have to raise ourselves to that such an extent. The thing is, we think we are responsible. Of course, there is the sense of responsibility is there. That is why we go on and we do different things. But in the back of our mind, the background should be that although we are doing, it is only symbolic. Ultimately, he is the karma phaladata. He is the karma adhyaksha. He knows what is, and so often it's our experience. You may have put in all your effort, but the result is not what you expect it to be, because it is multifactorial, right? So many things come into play. Your karma, the mainly your karma, and what has to happen. So there, the sense uh, of surrender, that he is the one, he gives us what is to be given, and he also protects what has to be protected. Anyone wants to share any more in this? I mean, this shloka is where actually
Yeah.
karma yoga and bhakti yoga, they actually merge in there, because this is the height of bhakti.
Yeah, that one line here, our effort must be to be, our effort must be to have lasting shraddha in Bhagavan's promise, unflinching devotion to him, and a commitment to constantly pray to him and serve him. Then we need not worry about yogam, shemam, both of which are really the burden of Bhagavan. So that's where the whole thing is, like, we have to have shraddha and unflinching devotion. And that's Ananya Chintayantam. This is one of those nice verse that we cherish.
And see, there is this serve him there, no? So when we are serving, see,
Yeah.
this does not mean this, we should not understand this saying, oh, we don't need to do anything. All we need to do is think about him. No, we have to serve him. So our whatever our duties, you do what you have to do. But offering all that to him, serving him. Like, for instance, you're a housewife and you have to cook food. You don't say, oh, praptasya apraptasya prapanam. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that would be, an extreme form of extrapolating this knowledge. I've not cooked food, so I'm just going to think about him and he will take care of the food. No.
Mhm.
So that is not uh, the way we need to interpret it. It is we
Yeah.
what we have to do. That
Mhm.
responsibility is there. Of course, you take up the responsibilities, but with what intention? It's not that I-ness there.
Yeah.
What?
There's a little story, my at my niece's son, sent a voice message, a little story that he said, like, two kids, they're supposed to take the exam. One kid studies, the other kid, okay, I'll pray the God, I will just pass my exam. So
Mm,
he doesn't study. The other kid who wants to pray, he doesn't study at all. He goes and prays 1 hour that I need to pass my exam and all that, and goes to the exam. And then the other kid who read, and then he does regular prayer and he goes to write the exam. And then the kid asking the question, who do you think will pass in this exam? So obviously the answer is who studied and then prayed, right? Somebody
Right.
who prayed, just prayed, not do anything. How do you expect to do that? That is what here it is, like you said. Um, we have to do our diligence duty and with the due diligence, and then also you constantly thinking about this Bhagavan all the time,
Atma
you know.
Tattva, right.
Yeah. So that way, whatever you're doing with that bhavana, when you're thinking about Bhagavan all the time, you obviously going to have that bhavana that you are not doing it, but you are doing when you are doing whatever given to you properly, and then you will succeed in whatever you're doing. That's basically that Shraddha what push you forward in terms of that and the devotion. But so anyway, that it just came to my mind, like you said, serve him like without doing anything. We just sit and pray.
Right. This
How
does
things
not
gonna?
mean a sense of
Yeah.
non-activity. That is why, see, in the third chapter, he said, Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma
Mm,
karma phalaheturbuhu ma te sangostva karmani. He says, you don't also be inactive.
mm.
Of
That
course,
becomes tamasic
yeah, that
nature.
becomes, that is
Yeah.
not taking responsibility at all. Total
Yeah.
responsibility is when you take it, but you leave the results, you drop the
Mm.
results. Whatever
Results,
the
right?
results come, it is him, it is his give. So
Yeah.
this is why for now, little by little that clarity is dawning. Earlier, I would think when we were learning, when
Yeah.
Miji had mentioned for to be a karma yogi,
Mm.
um, having the thought of Ishvara is very important. The concept of Ishvara is very important. I was wondering
Mm-hmm.
why. Now it
Mm.
becomes clear because unless you have the thought of Ishvara, the concept of Ishvara,
Mm-hmm.
where is the bhakti coming from? Because he is the karma dhyaksha, the giver. So you
Mm-hmm.
ascribe everything, your yoga, kshema, and everything up unto him.
Mm.
So you're dropping that doership. That doership becomes very thin. It only
Right.
exists in recognizing Ishvara. That's it. In
Yeah.
saying, I am doing this, but you are the
You
giver.
take care of it.
You
Yeah.
are you take care of me.
Yeah. That's what it said, right? The burden is go to him. Go
Yeah, it's a
to the
burden.
Bhagavan.
Bhagwan's
Yeah.
burden.
Yeah. Like as I was
And
talking to you about the conscious and unconscious, the subconscious mind. Obviously, if you look at it, that there are things that happens automatically when you're sleeping or awake state. Everything like your circulation, digestion, and all that, respiration, whatnot. Obviously, that is been happening because of that Atma. Like he gives the power, but obviously he's not a doer, but he is there conducting all these things. So he's um, that he knows, like when he say, "Oh, I want to," when you pray, like when you're not well and I want to get better. Obviously, we are only praying to him, to make you feel better. That happens when you do that. So it's just one of those things, like we think we are doing it objectively, obviously, but it's all inside you. What is happening, what we are thinking, our thoughts is what is the reason for our own problems. That kind of dawned to me reading this yesterday and today.
today we will another 3 minutes we'll stop because we have not been able to play any of the mantras towards the end. So we'll leave the last 5 minutes. We'll play the Nirvana Shatkam. Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhiyogam tam yena mamupayanti te teshamevanukampartham aham ajnanajam tamaha नाशयाम्यात्मभावस्तो jnanadipena bhasvata. So to the steadfast devotees who always pray to me with love, I shall bestow jnanam to enable them attain me. Out of compassion for them, I shall shine the light of knowledge in their minds to destroy the darkness born out of ignorance. So these verses are all Bhagwan's guarantee. He's giving us so much of assurance. This is all we have to do, and he will shine the light of knowledge. That is Bhagwan's kripa. That is Ishvara kripa. So first we have to have the Guru kripa, Shastra kripa, and the Atma kripa. Atma kripa is, of course, in our hands. How disciplined we are, how perseverant we are, what is our level of commitment. Guru Kripa anyway we have, and Shastra Kripa we have. So all that we have to pray for is Bhagwan's Kripa, and that will happen. So susukam, that is why the conditions laid down, which are susukam kartum, very easy to do, provided we have the burning desire for freedom. The burning desire. I remember Nana would always say the mumukshutvam is how fervent should be your desire for freedom is when you push a person underwater. He's not able to breathe. How fervently will he want to come out of water to take that breath? That should be the intensity of the mumukshutvam. That burning desire to be free. Yeah, I think we'll stop here. We'll take up Ahamatma Gudakesha tomorrow, because tomorrow we have just about 10 verses. So verse 29 downwards, we can do Manana tomorrow. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.
मनोबुद्ध्यहङ्कार चित्तानि नाहं न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न च प्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायुः न वा सप्तधातु न वा पञ्चकोशः न वाक्पाणिपादौ न चोपस्थपायु चिदानन्द शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न मे द्वेषरागो न मे लोभमोहो मदोर्नैव मे नैव मात्सर्यभावः न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखं न मन्त्रो न तीर्थं न वेदा न यज्ञः अहं भोजनं नैव भोज्यं न भोक्ता चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मे मृत्युशङ्का न मे जातिभेदः पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म न बन्धुर्न मित्रं गुरुर्नैव शिष्यः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् अहं निर्विकल्पो निराकाररूपो विभुर्व्याप्य सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणां सदा मे समत्वं न मुक्तिर्न बन्धः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्